Hello, dear student. Welcome to Finance and Banking class. I am Nasir Farooq, lecturer at Greenfield School and College. Today I am going to discuss the theoretical problems. The chapter name is Sources of Finance. It is most important chapter for the student of class 9 and class 10. Today I have discussed the most important topics, the sources of finance. We know that there are three kinds of sources of finance. One kind is short-term finance, the another is mid-term finance, and third is long-term finance. Today I am discuss the short-term finance of external sources. Last in my last lectures, I am I have discussed the internal sources of finance. Today I am describe the short-term finance, external sources of short-term finance. We know that there are two kinds of short-term finance basically. One kind is institutional, the another is not institutional. uh, there are uh, uh, there are a few kinds of institutional short-term finance. One kind is discounting of accounts payable. The another important topic is account receivable. The third topic is short-term bank loan. The another important topic is small credit. Inshallah, today I am describes in this chapters, so in these topics from this chapter. I hope all of the students, if you understand, if you attentions in my lectures, you will be able to answer all of the creative questions from this chapter. So now uh, I am describing the discounting of accounts payable. At first, we have to know what is accounts payable, why, and how it when it will be occurred. I mean accounts payable. Uh, Accounts payable basically when product are purchased, credit the buying firm promise to the selling firm thoughts singing a documents to pay money after expiry of the certain period. This time of a document is called bill of exchange. So selling firm can collect it cash by exchanging or discounting this bill in a commercial banks. I mean, um, when a when a purchaser the purchasers issue a bill to the buyers, to the sellers, it's called discounting of the accounts for, it's called the bill of exchange. When a seller wants to convert this bill as a cash monies, they can sell before the certain periods, just like of 3 months, at least 3 months. Uh, he or she can sell those bill and can convert it, those notes or those bills in can cash money. This calls of the uh, accounts payables, discounts of accounts payable. Let suppose let a buyer purchase a good of 500 taka. Suppose he purchase 500 taka. If uh, if uh, if the seller needs to money before 3 months, suppose this bill is payable for 3 months. If the seller needs to money in cash before 3 months, he or she will sell this bill in a bank account a certain rate of discount. Suppose 500 takas, it's cash converted 3% discounts, then he discounts to the banks 15 taka, 15 taka. So the seller of this bills can convert its cash uh, by discounting 50 taka, and he will get uh, 485 taka. This is the one kinds of bill discounts of accounts payable. and this is most important elements to sources of short-term finance and external finance. The another most important topics is uh, bill payable. It is most important topics. It is basically when a buyer and seller sell the product on credits, then create the account receivables and accounts payables bill. So bill payables when it will be occurred. In above, a bill of exchange is a bill receivable from the uh, pro-respective of the sellers, which is a bill payables to the buyers, and it's one of the short-term sources of finance when a business purchase. So this is most important topics because of when a buyer buys some product on credit, he issue a bill for the 3 month after he will be pay the cash money after 3 months. Within 3 months he will get an opportunities to operations for his business, he operations he his business activities. So these opportunities will be a behalf of the sellers for these regions. This calls is bill payables, and this is the most important topics. This is the most important sources of external finance of short term. The another most important topics is short term bank loan. Bank is and financial institutions. The basics view of the bank is make profit to service by servicing the welfare, servicing the peoples in the societies. Basically, bank provided the different opportunities to the customers and make a huge amount of interest. This is most important sources to collect short-term money for a business operations for a business managers. When a business manager need to short-term money, if there is no alternatives without banks, then the financial managers to collect money from the commercial banks, to collect short-term money from the commercial banks against a certain rate of interest. When a businessman's crisis in liquidity's money, then he may be collected money. He can collect it money from the bank loans from the banks. Um, I hope all of the students you will be understand. There are most important topics is small credit. Small credit. The another important topics is the uh, bank overdrafts. At first, I have to discuss the what is small credit and why it is important, and it is a popular sources to collect the short-term finance. Small credit. This type of loan generally used is to meet the current demand of the small and cottage industries, because we know that Bangladesh is a developing country and most of the peoples are poverty. Um, uh, Most of the business in our countries is small and cottage industries. Basically, there is no industrial institutions. A few industrial institutions in our country. So, small credit. This is popular sources to short-term finance. Basically, small credits provided from the uh, small industries, uh, just like from the financial institutions, just like of Grameen banks, youth development banks, cooperative banks are used to provide such kinds of bank loan. Are basically this loan are collected. This loan collected for meet the demand of the small and cottage industries activities. So I hope all of the student you will be understand in my lectures. Now I am describe the most important topics is bank overdraft. We know that uh, there are three kinds of bank accounts. One kind is current accounts. Current accounts are just likes of accounts which accounts account holder can withdraw money in any times and deposit money in any terms. The current accounts holders doesn't pay interest rate, and there are more opportunities. There are many opportunities. A businessman and who is persons transactions money initially one place to another place. He used the current account. He used the he transaction money by using these accounts. Otherwise, current accounts holders also have provided the debit and credit card. When basically bank overdraft, it is another part of the short-term finance, most important finance. Basically, bank overdraft used current accounts. Also, I'm described this topics. Current accounts also bank overdraft. This type of bank accounts mainly give an account holder the opportunities of withdrawing more than the amount of savings uh, in these accounts. When a financial crisis, when a financial manager's crisis, a short-term finance, when he cannot able to collect it money in any sources, uh, at last he or she try to get more money from his savings accounts in his current accounts. This it's called the built bank overdraft. Finance collections from this type of sources can be used, and they meet the demand of the current problems, the demand of the current loan, demand of the current interest, and demand. They meet the salaries, they meet the current institutional problems. So I hope all of the student you will be understand the short-term finance, short-term institutional financial sources. Now I am describing the non-institutional finance. This is most important alternative process to collected money. So non-institutional institutional sources, there are some kinds of non-institutional sources just like of commercial paper. This is most important sources to collected money for a short-term finance. uh, Buyers advances, mortgage, store goods, rural money lenders. This is most important topics. Now I am describing at first the commercial paper. Commercial paper, it is one kinds of documents whose documents issue by a reputations and famous institutions and can collect it money for the short terms. Uh, by issuing these papers, the duration of this paper basically 270 days, up to 270 days. The commercials papers holders uh, get a certain rate of interest. Basically, commercial the face the sale value less than the face value of commercial papers. Suppose when a company issue a commercial papers is 1000 taka, but he is showing a certain rate of discounts. Suppose uh, he or she discounts 10% discounts, then total discount amount is 100 taka. So here 100 taka is the total discount. Then the company collected money from the commercial paper providers, less 100 taka, then 900 taka. When a company is an issue and commercial papers and at 10% discounts, if the face value of the commercial paper is 1000 taka, then he collected the 900 taka. uh, After the time being, I mean 3 month or 6 month or 270 days after, when companies collected those papers from the customers, from the money providers, then company repay the customers in is 1000 taka. By this way, uh, a buyer of the commercial paper can get 100 taka by buying these commercial papers. So this is most important importance uh, elements. This is most important way to collect it money for reputations and famous companies, just like so Square companies, Baximco, and any others, Grameen banks, and ceramics, any others famous companies is Bangladesh can collect it money, can collect it short-term money by issuing commercial papers. The most alternative process to collect a short-term finance, the buyer's advance. It is basically when buyers and sellers dealing good dealings, and they have, if they have no corruption, spectacularizing activities, and they don't broke the promise, then they also create a faith value with one another's, then this dealing of finance is created. Buyers advance basically when uh, when a purchase man purchases a goods or product in a shop, if those product is not a presence at this time at those times, then the grocers offer him to advance those monies, and after the time being they collected the his demand product after some times, then create buyer's advance. This is most important business finance, business short-term finance uh, for a business organizations. Another most important topics, mortgaging store goods. It is most important topics when financial managers cannot able to collect it money by any way. Then after this moments, or at the last moment, he promised to mortgaging some goods, just like some garments product are storing in a house, and make a receipt, and those receipts are deposited to a financial institutions and can collect it short-term finance from a financial institutions. Its calls is mortgaging store goods. The another most important topic is rural money lenders. Rural money lenders is a persons who is rich and who have a huge amount of money, and we know that the rural area of our village peoples are very poor. When he or she needs some money for cultivate any agriculture product, for purchasing some goods, uh, or doing some things, they need some money, just like so 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, 25,000, just like so money, small amount of money they need. They also they also collected money from the lenders. Lenders always uh, uh, give those money a higher rate of interest. The farmers, the money providers also repay the principal's amount of loan with a certain rate of interest. So this is most important topics. This is most important sources to short-term financings. I hope all of the students, if you understand, if you attentions in my class, be carefully, you will be able to uh, confirm, you will be able to answer all the questions from this chapter. uh, so thank